Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Rap Podcast, the place to catch up on all the regional and national rugby in Wales. You can find us on all the usual social media platforms and message us through there if you want, or you can email us on welshregionalrugbypod@gmail.com. So all the boring stuff out the way, let's talk rugby. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Rap Podcast, and joining me, Lee G, as always, is Carwyn Rees and Jamie. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
It feels like quite a nice weekend, really, didn't it? We after Sunday, and then we're like, well, what do we talk about now? This is pretty much all we've spoken about for the last kind of 6-8 weeks, and it's like, what did we talk about before then? But did we all have a nice weekend? Did we all enjoy our weekends, gents?
Not too bad. Yeah.
Really good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Jamie's staying quiet because he had to watch the Ospreys and Dragons game.
It was a mixed bag. Let's just put it that way.
It was a mixed bag.
It was a mixed bag of a weekend. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with some admin then, gents. Drink of the week. What have we got for drink of the week this week? Who wants to go first? Carwyn's looking confused, so let's go, Carwyn. Oh dear. Go on then. What's that, mate?
This is quite simply red wine. Because I can't remember what it's called, because I think it's McGuigan red wine. But I've left it in the kitchen because I'm in a bit of a rush. And it's very nice. Chateau de Co-op. And Joe, it's lovely. It's really nice. I'd recommend it at £8 a bottle.
Reese, what have you got, mate?
Well, I'm not sure if I did done this if like just grabbing, hurtling in from the kids' clubs and what have you, and grabbing a can. I'm not sure I did this because I'm a bad loser. If Wales hadn't won on the weekend, but I've got a pint of Guinness. So,
top man. Yeah, class. Yeah, that's quality, that is. Jamie, what have you got, mate?
Well, my brother bought me these beers for Christmas, and I've only just got around to having it. It's 50/50, it's called. It's from Buxton Brewery. It's basically a blend of two beers, two IPAs, and it's all right. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got a fruity aftertaste to it, which is good because I like fruity beers. Yeah. First time I've had it, it's all right. It's not the best beer I've ever had, but it's not the worst either. So that'll do me.
Well, no, we all still remember your peanut butter beer. So
yeah, it's not quite out there.
Yeah, it's not quite.
Oh, that was horrid.
Well,
peanut butter flapjack. Yeah,
that
horrid
was the one.
stuff.
Yeah. When we get to the end of the season,
Yeah,
we'll do our
don't
highlight
recommend that.
show. Yeah, that's definitely going to be in the highlight show. Well, I usually stick to my bottles, but I kind of caved in. I've done pretty much most of the bottles in my local shopping place, And next to the bottles were cans. So this week I've caved in, James. And I've put some Brewdog.
Planet. Yeah.
So
that's more Reese's domain. I thought you were going to go Tiny Rebel.
Well, I couldn't find any, but it's close. I've got this one, and then they come in like 4, and so next week is some kind of bizarre fruity thing, and the week after that is like a double strength of the bizarre fruity thing. So I'm kind of edging that way, is where I'm going, mate.
All right. So what you're saying is I need to up my game then, really, because you boys are on the hard stuff, really. So the next time I'm not waking on a Tuesday, I'll be going hell for leather and drinking some proper ale. I think that's my best bet.
I think maybe we should have an episode where we have a drinking game with shots.
Yeah, can we do it on a Friday though?
Yeah.
just see where the conversation takes.
Yeah. I'll forget to record it. Yeah.
3 hour long.
Every rugby tour I ever went on, I always lost the drinking game. Was carried back to the hotel, like almost like 100%.
Was that intentional though for the free drink?
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah. So shout out to the mighty Celia FC.
Yeah, some of the tours I've been on, I remember the start of the night, and then I remember drinking games, and then pretty much nothing after that. And then you wake up the next morning back in your bed, and you're like, okay, that's all right. That's. But I'm always
like that every Saturday after a youth game. God.
One of the pranks the lads pulled on me was I lost the game again, and I was sort of carried back to the hotel, and I was put into bed. Anyway, the next I woke up was my brother-in-law sharing a room with, like holding me by the lapels, going, "Get up, you absolute asshole," and what have you. And I'm like, so I get up, like rudely woken, and I just shout out, like, "Get off me," and what have you. And I look around the room. There's not a stick of furniture or anything. I'm on the floor. So the boys had come in, lifted me off the bed, put me on the floor, and then taken everything out of the hotel.
Top class.
And I'm not liked.
Right, let's do a little bit of rugby news from this week, then, gents. So the agreement between the WRU and the regions has been signed, and regions can start signing players, but I'm still not seeing any confirmation of any contracts. Has anybody actually heard of anybody signing a contract yet?
No, I didn't see that. Now as a walkabout, they're still sort of crossing the T's, dotting the I's on a few things to do with contracts there. But I mean, this should have been done by now, shouldn't it? Players are starting to depart. And fair play to them. They've got their careers and families to think about. Young team William Thomas, they're off to Japan. I'm sure there's more to follow.
Well,
Cardiff is gone. Yeah.
Ben Thomas is coming to the Ospreys.
Shut up now. Don't upset me, Carwin.
I'd get your boots, mate. I'd get your boots ready, Reese, because the way they're going, there's not going to be many left. You might get caught.
My one leg, my one knee. Yeah, Ben. What could the Ospreys offer him then? What's the sweetener that the Ospreys could actually offer him? Is the same amount.
Well, mate, he'd probably be starting number 12 or 10, whatever,
playing in fullback,
Well, to be fair, they're probably offering more than 30k, which is what Cardiff are offering some of their players.
Yeah. Oh, they got more money. Can they offer more?
Nice little backline though with him, Kieran Williams, Joe Hawkins. It's shaping up there. Keelan Giles, young.
I look forward to see
Hopkins.
The land under 16s turn out for Cardiff next season.
And then Mam's got to sign the release form as he's running on the pitch just to say any injuries are his own. He'd be fine. But I don't know if you boys saw this on Twitter about the Gareth Anscombe. Gareth Anscombe's leaving Ospreys. No, he's not leaving the Ospreys, and all of that kind of thing. So it was reported that he was offered a new contract, but it was $100,000 less than the contract that he's got at the minute. So he was looking around. So this kind of goes around Twitter and we got involved in that. I mean, like, it's, is this a bad thing for the Ospreys? He's nearing the end of his career, this, that, and the other. And then Anscombe replies to it and goes, "This is a complete load of bollocks, boys. Nothing in this story is any true." So then everyone starts.
But if he was offered less, though.
Well,
but if he was offered less, well, fair play, because in a sense, he's been out for a long time with injury. He's a good player. I wouldn't say he's coming to the end of his career. I mean, he's certainly in those twilights, but there's a good few years left of him, and it'd be quite fresh, coming back into it. But I think repayment in kind back to the Ospreys, the faith they've shown him and the help they've given him to get back to where he's going to be, I don't think that would go amiss either.
But the best part of the story is that, so Anscombe goes back to Peter Jackson and says, "This isn't true, mate." Peter Jackson replies to him and goes, "Well, that's not what my sources tell me." And at which point, Welsh Rugby Twitter just goes into meltdown with all sorts of stuff. And it's been a pleasure to watch, really, all day.
I did like Anscombe had a follow-up to that as well. He said, "In that case, please tell your inverted commas source to send over the contract."
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Jackson is saying, "No, according to my sources." I don't think you can get a better source than the player himself. Literally, the player is saying, "No, it's not true. I'm not going anywhere." Jackson's like, "Oh, no, according to my sources." Like, I'm more inclined to believe the actual player here, Peter. I'm sure you got good sources, but if the guy is telling you it's bollocks, then it's probably bollocks.
This isn't the parody account for Gareth Anscombe.
Yeah. You've got to give him respect for holding on to that view, though, haven't you? Like, it's an untenable position.
I just think that the next couple of weeks there's going to be so much of it in there that so-and-so's leaving and so-and-so's staying and they're off and they're going, and we're just not really going to know anything until end of the season is Judgment Day, and that's 2 games away. I know it's a couple of weeks, but that's 2 games
but
away.
You know what? With all that's gone on these last few months in Welsh rugby, do you know what? I don't care now. I want to get to the end of the season, get into the World Cup, and look forward to next season. Just sweep this season back under the carpet where it came from and crack on, move forward in a positive tone. It's been so much going on. If players are going to go, great, they're going to go. And then let's just start again. Reset it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, while you've kind of brought it up, let's talk about Sunday then and the vote. I think we all kind of breathed a sigh of relief that it got okay. 97% of everybody that was there was okay. See the guy from Aberafon Quins has resigned today, the secretary of Aberafon Quins. Just I think from the amount of shit that he was getting, which at the end of the day, regardless, I got a bit of respect for him for he stood up for what he believed in, and he said, "Hang on, here's a different way, if you like." So he had the guts to stand up and do that, and then he just got abuse from kind of all sorts of places, which I can kind of understand. When you put your head above the parapet, you've almost got to expect a little bit of that, but so anyway, he's gone today as well, and just some of the comments today have just been insane. It's just been, some of them have been nuts. Like, who are the 7 that voted against? Does it really matter? Because 260 odd voted for, or so there's little bits like that. But what have you guys made of it all since the vote?
There's a lot of bitterness, isn't it, around with everything going on, but that's Welsh rugby over decades as well, isn't it? When we became regions and stuff like that, and that's the thing we need to get away from. We need to move forward. We need to stop being tribal. We need to move on from doing things like that. As you say, I don't agree with him. But he's got his view, doesn't it? Deserve abuse, does he?
No, that's it. Everyone has an opinion, don't they? Be it right or wrong.
You've got a decision.
Let's move on. Absolutely. Let's get on. Let's do what's best for Welsh rugby now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lee used the word relief there. That's exactly how I would sum it up for me. It's a massive relief. And, for me, Sunday, that was a watershed moment for Welsh rugby, because at long last now, the game in Wales is going to have a modern, diverse governance structure that's fit for purpose in the 21st century. It's a massive moment for Welsh rugby. It's a big step forward to proper change, proper governance. We need the right people at the top with proper acumen, business skills, qualifications. The right people know how to run a multi-million-pound business. But also, I think what I would say is we should remember how we got here, and we should remember these awful chain events, the sexism, the misogyny, the racism, the homophobia, that BBC Wales Investigates programme. And I think we should all actually pay respect and tribute to the people, the brave women who spoke up and openly told their stories about the abuse they suffered at the WRU. Because if it wasn't for them, this is a bittersweet moment, because if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for that awful chain of events, this would never have happened. The WRU looked like they were never going to change their ways, And it's a watershed moment, and it's not the end. It's not finished. This is just the beginning. They've got to make sure now. Yeah, it's a start. It's a big step in the right direction. Like I said, they have got to get the right people. It is right that we have a diverse board now. The WRU needs the right people. It needs to be diverse, needs to be experienced and knowledgeable. And, if we want Wales to improve on the field, we need Wales to improve off it, don't we? And here's hoping now it's the first step to a proper governance structure that we have so lacked in Welsh rugby for years.
Yeah, well, look, they've given themselves to the 31st of December now to have that all in place. I mean, that's quite a long time to get, 12 members in situ. I mean,
they got to get the right people, though, Carwyn.
Yeah, but
if it takes time, then so be it. They've got to get the right people in now. They've got to do an extensive shift.
When it says the beginning, it really is. It just means that the game in Wales can start to move forward, isn't it? And there's so much to do, isn't there? Isn't it? It's just like just the board and the makeup of it and what have you. But the game, the community game, and the pathways and stuff like that. There's so much to do. But
huge.
But you would have liked to have thought that those people could be in place by the end of the World Cup. There's quite a lot of time between now and then, to have some of these things in place, some of these people in place. They've got people headhunting now, looking for these right people. I'm sure there will be people who want to job. There might be people who go, do you know what? I'm not touching it with a wooden spoon. Don't want to mention the wooden spoon, but
if it was a no vote, that's definitely would have happened. They would have been the repercussions from a no vote would be resignations left, right, and centre. And also, I think we should thank the clubs as well. Because for once they have not all of them, but a lot of them have put that self-interest to one side and they voted for the greater good. And I do think credit should go to those clubs that did vote yes. The ones that didn't vote no, fine. They're insignificant. They're irrelevant now. But fair play to those clubs who voted yes, because we couldn't have done it without them either. And I think that should be acknowledged as well.
I think the thing is now, they kind of, you're almost in limbo now until the new people do come in and they go, right, this is how we've got to go forward. Because Ian Evans has effectively made sure that vote happens so that he gets booted out, and same with Nigel Walker. It's a bit like, we'll make this happen, but then we've got to leave. And I just think the longer they leave it, the more difficult that job is for the people that come in. Yeah, if somebody comes in fairly swift, particularly if it's somebody at the top, that comes in fairly swift and says, right, okay, this is my vision. Do you know what I mean? And then you can recruit the other people that go, actually, I can get on board with that vision. I know what they want to do. I know I can see how I can be a part of that, rather than having, boardroom scuffles and all of that kind of stuff. But Nigel Walker said that they've already spoken to people before the vote took place, on a if this happens kind of basis. So I'd like to think that actually, they've got an idea. They've got a long list. They said they've got a long list, and this week
Yeah.
it can be brought down to a short list sort of thing. So
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I understand what Carwyn's saying. We don't want it to drag on, but at the same time, I do think the WRU got to do its due diligence and do an extensive and proper search to try and get the best people.
Oh, it has to be right.
She wouldn't come back. It's a no-go. But someone like Amanda Blanc, if she could return, she won't. But they need business people, like the caliber of Amanda Blanc. They got to get someone with running a high-profile business, a corporation, someone who's got that knowledge and skills and knows what they're getting involved in.
It's a real opportunity here. You just hope they don't fuck it up, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is the WRU in it, so
I know,
Yeah.
Jim. I was despondent on Saturday. I was thinking, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. When it did, I was like, oh, like you as if we won the game. Like,
well, you were there like that. Carwyn was right. Where's my CV? Let me update my CV.
I tell you what, it's been running through my head, mate. Absolutely running through my head. Thinking they need a fans representative within that big boardroom, saying, "Listen, guys, the fans aren't happy here. This is what you need to be doing."
Yeah, I think, like you said, there is so much work to do, and there's already stuff going round about this elite league. So when the thing came out about the elite league, it came out first of all, and I read the report, and it said in there that the money would come from community clubs, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, that's not going to work. That's not going to happen at all, And then it got revised like about an hour after that, because I was starting to get my high horse about it, and then and somebody said, "Oh, what are you on about? Doesn't say that in there." And I reread it again, and I'm like, "Oh, hang on, that's different to what I read earlier." And now it says that community funding has been ring-fenced for X amount of years, but it still doesn't say where the money's going to come from to pay for this elite league. So if rumours are to be believed, and they are rumours at the minute, but that looks like another shit show waiting to go off, because my understanding of it is that each of the regions will select one club as a feeder club, and that club will go into that elite league as Scarlets A, Ospreys A, Cardiff Blues A, just to wind you boys up. I'd love them to put a side in there and call it Cardiff Blues and just leave it go and see what happens. and Dragons A. But so, yeah, I mean, at the minute, like Scarlet's got 3 feeder clubs, and obviously the natural feeder club for it to go in would be Llanelli, but Llanelli's bottom of the fucking Premiership at the minute and couldn't beat a fucking drum, So that's gonna cause issues. I know that straight away, and I've already had people telling me that there's all sorts of shit going on around the formation of this A team, the formation of a development team, and then where's the money for that development team coming from? If it's Scarlets A, then all of the players in there will be already be on contract to Scarlet, so they'd be getting paid no matter what. So that might not be so much of an issue. But then you've got other sides. So let's say Llandudbury, who would just be competing against Scarlets A in that elite league, who would then be, on a very different footing, because they're competing against fully professional players effectively. They're semi-pros, so there's all sorts of stuff that I can see happening. Pontypridd have already said that they're not going to join that elite league no matter what. So yeah, it's another one waiting to go off, boys. That's the next one for the next couple of weeks.
The devil's in the detail with these things, isn't it? But I don't blame the WRU for trying to narrow that gap, because we all know there's a big gap between the Welsh Premiership and the URC, and it needs to be narrowed. The question is, how do you do that? Someone's going to get upset. Not everyone is going to get on board with these plans, but there has to be a way that we keep everyone happy and we bridge that widening gap between semi-pro and pro rugby. And it's not easy, but I do think some difficult decisions has to be made. Whether this elite league is the answer or not. I just don't know.
Like you say, it's about the detail, and at some point the detail of that will come out. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that one over the next couple of weeks, certainly. Okay, let's talk rugby. Let's talk about last weekend. Let's start with the women's game, because we had Christy on last week, and was very popular. Lots of people putting her in their fantasy league team. And I think she scored 9 points, but she's a really nice,
Well, in fairness to Christy, she came on in the second half, and she contributed to the Irish try. She was right there pushing her over the line. Fair play.
So you were at the game, Carwyn. Give us a rundown.
I was, and it's one of the best games of rugby I've seen for a long time, and that includes the men's senior side. It was lovely to watch. It was flowing. It was intense. It was exciting. There wasn't that much kicking, which made it a much better game, and the hits going in were huge. There was no one holding back. But a special mention to Caris Williams-Morris, Wales left wing. I think she is the Welsh women's equivalent to George North. She was absolutely fantastic, as well with Hannah Jones and Karen Lake in the centres. They were great, honestly, and the forwards were phenomenal. I think obviously we dropped off in the second half there, but the atmosphere was fantastic. It was like I said to you earlier, boys. It was like being in the Old Arms Park watching an old game, proper fans watching a good old game of rugby, and the women completely deserved to be recognised for their efforts there. And I can't wait for the next game. I'm going to go to the England game. It was just a fantastic atmosphere. There was a record crowd there for a Wales women's match. And it was just a great thing to watch. And more should be done for the women's game to encourage younger girls to play the game as well. It was just fantastic. The whole family enjoyed it. My daughter loved it. We saw the players. In fact, Christy texted me. We just left. We said, "Oh, wait there. We're coming back out onto the pitch. We're going to come and say hello." And by that time, we'd gone. I was gutted. But all the girls stay on the pitch. They come and see the youngsters after the game. Plus the Welsh and Irish team, and it just lets everyone be a part of it. Whereas the men's team, it's like quick clap and they're off. That's it. It's like we're more important than you. And obviously, the men's game is obviously a big game in Wales. But they could take a leaf out of the women's game and play the way they do, because they were also, and they're only going to get better. They may not win this year. They may not beat England or France, but France are the 22-12 against Italy. Obviously the England are the ones to beat. But I can see an English or French scalp possibly being taken in this Six Nations for Wales. Because I tell you what, they play like that first half or two halves, and they're going to be in a game with anyone. And they can only get better now they've all gone professional. With the time they're having together. And I, for one, can't wait to go to the next game with them.
It's amazing what... I was just about to say, it's amazing what professionalism can do, isn't it? There's no coincidence that Welsh women's rugby is now thriving and doing well when they've had professional contracts. And we needed it for so long, and fair play. They were terrific. I watched the game after I got back from Swansea. I really enjoyed it. You are right. They did tail off a bit in the second half. I think it was one try piece, wasn't it?
5-5, yeah. But there was also, it had everything. It was fighting. There was everything.
Yeah. It was really great.
I think the thing is, though, is they've only been professional for 12 months, whereas, England women have been professional for
good number of years.
Yeah. Well, like you would have probably heard on TV, Ireland, they put 40 points on Wales at home 2 years ago. And Wales went over in Donnybrook last year. But there's, like Christy was saying to us last week, they are starting to push professional contracts through for them as well. And it's only for the good of the game. It's given, like I say, it's given the youngsters something to aspire to be, especially, at home in the UK. There's going to be a women's Lions team as well. That's something else to go for. I love it. And you know what? One of the big players in that for Wales has been Nigel Walker. He's helped push on those contracts.
He did,
But the thing for me is probably our best player is still Jazz, and she's off with GB Sevens. and so she's still to come back into the Welsh setup at some point. I hope
if she gets in.
Back. Well, you're then into that bit where you're genuinely competing for places building at a high level and all of it. And I think it won't be too long before. And this is my only concern with the women's game now, is how they develop it at regional level. And do they go, okay, we'll have an East and West, and it blows up that whole conversation again about. I think what they need to do is go, right, the women's game is different to the men's game. We're not going to have Scarlets and Ospreys women and things like that, and they do go, right, we'll have an East and West or a North and South women's team,
or 4.
Do you know what I mean? Well, no, I think if you make it into 4, you just have the same issues as you have with a men's team, and realistically at the minute, 4 women's teams, there wouldn't be enough there to compete. There would be enough for 2 women's teams, because most of our women at the minute are playing over the bridge, aren't they? They're in Bristol and Hartbury and what have you. So, yeah, I think it's the next step forward is developing a domestic league of some sort. Just at some point, there'll be another 6 weeks worth of arguing and all of that kind of bollocks. But
if I can recommend to you boys, or anyone listening, get yourself down the Arms Park and watch these girls playing, because you will not be disappointed.
I do intend to go at some point. It was just that there was that clash, wasn't there, which really annoyed me. But I am hoping to go at some point. You mentioned the crowd there, 4,962, which I think is a really good crowd, and now will increase the more successful Wales are.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's positive, isn't it? It's really positive. I enjoyed the game, after be honest. I really did. I thought Kiva Bevan, who follows me on Twitter, can you believe? I don't know why she does, but she does. Kiva Bevan, the scrum half, follows me. I thought she was great. And Tupolotu, she was good.
Oh my God.
They could not stop her, could they?
She's 19.
I know.
19.
She was like a hand grenade going in. Honestly.
She's brilliant.
The Welsh looked like really physical, even in the backs, isn't it?
They were hugely physical.
That back line, isn't it? It was great to see.
They were hugely physical.
But you look at that level, that level of increase in physicality in 12 months. You give that another 12 months, you give that 24 months of, pure physical development and fitness and all of this kind of stuff. And it's going to be awesome. I would not be at all surprised to see them move the game to Swansea, just because they're going to fill up Cardiff Arms Park in, no time at all. And I reckon, by this time next year, they'll be filling Cardiff Arms Park, and it'll have to go to a bigger stadium. And the next logical step after that will be, well, it could go to the Cardiff City Stadium, but I doubt that would happen.
I don't know. But look, it is exciting times for Welsh women's rugby, and especially for all the young followers who want to follow in their heroes' footsteps. There's, like I say, the team up here now. There's girls coming from all over the valleys here, coming to play down here, and it's just great for the game.
So so we put our fantasy league team out.
All right, league. Calm yourself down. How are you going with this?
I got to be honest, loads more people joined the women's league than they did the men's league. It was much more
That's
popular.
the despondency around the men's game.
Yeah, it was like bollocks to it.
But after the first round, I sort of switched on to what they've done. I know exactly what's happened now. They have.
So you're only saying that because you're one off the bottom, Carwyn.
No, they chose 4 Welsh girls, 4 English and 4 French and someone else. Yeah, and a couple of other players, And that's where the points have come from. And that's what I'm going to do next week, because I need to up my points. And I actually need to have 3 players on the bench rather than 2.
I always go with just use up your coins and stuff. And if it means you've only got 2 on the bench, and you've only got 2 on the bench. One place ahead of you, Carwyn, is Reece.
Yeah, you look up, I can see.
So not only is Reece not bottom of the table, he's actually above Carwyn. I mean, that's quite insane, man, boys. Now, for some reason, when I did mine, so I've got like an old profile on there. When I was young, I used to have a goatee beard, so my name was Goat. That was my nickname. So I put my profile as the GOAT, and I haven't used that profile for years and years and years. And for some reason, when I did my women's team, it came up as the GOAT. So I've got no idea how I did that or how to undo it. But so the GOAT is me, and I'm in 12th. And Jamie, well, we've got to go up.
I'm in top 5.
We've got to go up. Oh yeah, Jamie.
I'm top 5. I am right.
Oh, he's showing off now, boys. He's showing off. Yeah, Jamie in 5th.
When I first looked, someone look. What did I say? Someone had 4,000 points. I'm like, hang on now, where'd you get 4,000 points from?
That was wrong. When you clicked on their profile, they had 800 points, and now it's saying they've got 1,000 points. So I still don't think that's right. But
no.
Yeah. So Joe Saracens is top of the table. D's Rebels in 2nd. James in the imaginatively titled James in 3rd place.
Well done, James.
Well done, James. Yeah, and then Leon in 4th, and then Jamie in 5th. I'm not going down to everybody, but it was good because people were a lot more engaged with it than they were with the men's. I think when we started the men's one, there was a lot of doom and gloom around Welsh rugby and a lot of fluff. And it does feel like there's a lot of positivity around the women's game now, and I hope they kick on with it and give it having it on the telly was massive. I think having it live on the telly, on the BBC, promoted, was a massive difference, and I think we can only get better from there. So anyway, men's game. Let's go to Cardiff on Friday night. So, Reese, tell us how amazing Cardiff were on Friday night, mate. Go on.
Total Rugby, the perfect performance.
Remind us of the full-time score again.
By that. They tried to make it interesting, and they tried to take the defeat of the jaws of victory. It looked like, and usually when we've lost like before in Zebra, or when we've struggled in Zebra, it's because our pack's been pulverised. And this time it was when we kept it tight, we had more success. And when they threw it wide, they caused us damage, especially in our centre partnership. I think like the 2 young centres were a bit of a problematic in defence. But then they showed their worth, like taking the ball forward as well. Special mentions for both of them. I was on a train on the way to Liverpool to watch my daughter run cross country for Wales. So I was watching it on the scores on Twitter, and I've since caught up with watching it. And it was just like, both them! Yeah. Well set up. He's like the forgotten man because he's brilliant for us. And Shane Lewis Hughes as well, and Ratty. So we've got some good boys that are probably hopefully going to stick around next season. We'll see.
Some of them have got to stay for next year, mate. They can't all go.
Bacon bap and a pint after match fee.
Absolutely. Possibly a yard of ale. Let's go with some of them. But if I look at the lineup now, I thought, the pack fronted up, and if you have a look at the pack, we've got Corey Domachowski, Boucher, and Azerati. Azerati was like way down the pecking order, but I thought he played a really good game. I got to be fair to him. I've not been his probably best fan in the past, but I thought the whole front row played well. Turnbull and Teddy Williams were just like throwing themselves about the pitch, really mobile. And yeah, so bit problematic with Max Llewellyn and Mason Grady in defence. I thought they got caught out a couple of times. But fair play to Zebra, they throw the ball about and they know what they're doing. You know, it seems to be the Italian style of play, isn't it, from Bennett and with good attacking rugby. I thought Carl showed a lot of character to sort of get in at the end. An away win, we came away with all the points. And I'm happy with that because that, watching Cardiff the years like I have, that could have gone a very different way. So yeah, I'm very happy with the performance.
It's all hotting up, isn't it, Reece?
Yeah, you're still,
who's your
you're still
next
down
game?
there, though. You're still down there, though, Carway.
Yeah.
Don't go yeah.
Well, look, we've got Edinburgh away before we take on yourselves. So, and who are you playing? Connaught away?
We've got Sale next. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, you got Connaught, mate.
Connaught, it is Connaught, is it?
Yeah, Connaught.
Out in Galway.
Yeah,
that's
tough game,
that
that
mate. With all the Irish internationals back, yeah. But no, I'm fine. I'm a blind optimist, boys. Like it is, it's okay. I wish we could Sale.
So the Welsh Shield,
the
Welsh Shield could all come down to Judgment Day in the stadium here.
The Welsh Shield.
Yeah.
Well,
it's on this podcast.
It's important because the winner of the Welsh Shield gets an automatic. That's the only reason the Ospreys are in top flight of Europe.
Yeah,
and
I'll take that.
They've done it. So, and if we'd have beaten the Dragons the week before, then that Ospreys game would have been very different. So it is important. It is an important.
It is.
Yeah, no, clear.
Yeah, it is important. People take the piss out of it, and let's be honest, it was really tin pot, wasn't it, last season when Ospreys were in the fucking car park in the middle of a night with the banner, wasn't it? And it looked so unbelievably tin pot. But people were mocking them, but I said, well, it's a trophy, and they're going to Europe.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and the money the Ospreys have made off being in Europe and playing those big games this year. I mean, it still won't pay for Anscombe, but the money that you've made from it might be enough to buy a couple of Cardiff players. So
everybody's leaving. I guess
going free.
It's looking at all our teams at the bottom of our league, like, isn't it? And then you go like, oh, the Shield. So I guess so getting into Europe then is almost like a scary prospect, isn't it? Because we will be playing the big boys, stripped of some of our players. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's a scary prospect, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you've still got 15 international back rowers. So surely you just put them in the yeah. It's I tell you what, I was impressed with Zebra, the way they played, their style of play. So I thought Jesse's try to start with was fantastic, and the second row, when their second row had that run for the line, it reminded me a little bit of Chabal. Just kind of like I just thought it was. They're bottom of the table, and it's really easy for them to go bollocks to this. We can't be asked, sort of a thing. But I thought they played really, really well, and were actually unlucky not to take you boys at the end. I think if it had gone on another 5 or 10 minutes, then
could have just squeaky bum time.
Yeah, but fair play to them. So Saturday we ventured west with the Dragons and Ospreys. So me and Reese are going to put our feet up now for 10 minutes. Jamie, you were at the match.
Unfortunately, yes, I was.
So a lot has been made of the game and the discipline and the cards on both sides. Because I've got to say, from the kickoff, that first kickoff, Alan Wynne-Jones pins your guy to the bottom of a rock.
Fair brother, yeah.
And starts giving a little. So it wasn't as one-sided as everybody was making out. But yeah, what did you make of it, mate?
Well, look, I never thought Dragons were going to win that game, but I have to admit, when I saw the teams announced on Friday, I saw the Dragons squad and I looked at the Osprey squad, and I thought, do you know what? That's not a bad looking side. The Dragons, we had Elliot D. You had Ross Moriarty in there. You had Ollie Griffiths. We had a really good team put out. Okay, we had Jordan Williams on the wing, but can't have everything, can you? I guess. But I looked at that team and I actually thought they'd be pretty decent. How wrong I was. Yeah, it was a pretty grim watch. It was a grim day, to be honest, for many reasons. We were just never in that game. It was really, really disappointing. I think if you're going to beat the Ospreys, you've got to have a strong set piece. That's the fundamental you've got to have. You've got to have a strong set piece. And our line-out never functioned. Our scrum was awful. We just never fired a shot. And, I don't want to discredit Ospreys or do them down, but they weren't great, but they didn't have to be. It's like they never really go out of second gear. They did what they had to do, and they did it pretty well. But I was really shocked and disappointed how poor we was. Really,
for the Ospreys, it's also a nice win going into Europe now this Sunday, just to get that little bit of confidence. I know no disrespect to the Dragons, but it was a win against the Dragons at home, and just to have that little injection of confidence going into next week will really help with other players coming back into the team as well.
I mean, I don't know how much useful prep there's going to be beating a piss poor Dragons team, because you are going to have to massively up your game when you go to Saracen's.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge mountain.
Yeah, but it was just go on.
No, yeah, I said it'll be a huge mountain going out there, but I've just got this feeling in my bones that the Ospreys will pip them by a couple of points. So
we'll talk about predictions later.
Yeah.
But it's from a Dragons point of view. I mean, people have said this is the worst performance of the season. I still think Edinburgh first up was the worst, but that was under Dean Ryan. But this was no doubt the worst performance under the Dai Flanagan era. And we have to talk about the discipline as well, because I put out a tweet today about it. Or was it last night? I can't remember. Scrum 5 did a video sort of highlighting those challenges from Fairbrother, Moriarty, and Theo Tomkinson. And I just put out a self-deprecating tweet, just tongue in cheek, saying like, Dai Flanagan's team talk was target the fly half, and the Dragons was like kill him. It was just meant to be a bit of a laugh. But then it blew up.
It went fucking mental, James, is what it did.
I had to mute my notifications because I had people such as Stuart Barnes and Danny Cipriani and fucking Lee Jarvis and Jamie Ringer and Ollie Lawrence all, commenting and talking about it. Look, Dai Flanagan was very disappointed after the game, and I have to say, Dai Flanagan is always a positive character, isn't he? You see him in the interviews after the game. Even when Dragons lose, he's always saying, he's proud of his players and he looks at the positives and, we'll go again next week. He's always had that positive demeanour. I have to say, I've watched 2 of his interviews now. I watched one on Scrum 5 and then I watched one on the Dragons social channels. And for the first time this season, he looked genuinely disappointed and pissed off at the Dragons' performance. He was massively let down by his players, and there's been a lot of talk about the tactics that was used. So, I think it's really important to quote what Dai Flanagan said, because it gives important context, right, to what's going on. So he said, "We let ourselves down. We tried to drive emotion in the week for a derby game, and we definitely overstepped the line. We didn't get it right, and some of the hits that we put in late was not us." Which is fair, because the Dragons are not a dirty team. I know they're getting a lot of criticism right now, but the Dragons are not a dirty team. If anything, I've been critical in the past of them not being aggressive, so any notion of Dragons being a dirty team is just untrue. But then he says this: most 10s run the game, so if you can put them off a stride, it helps you. We did try to target certain individuals in the team, but overstepped the mark. So there's no way Dai Flanagan said to the players in the room. I mean, I don't know Dai Flanagan. I don't know him personally, but he seems a nice guy. Seems really down to earth. There's no way he said to those players, go out and try to hurt Jack Walsh. That wouldn't have happened. He probably said something like try and put him off his stride, try to make him feel uncomfortable. At very worst, he
get in his face.
Get in his face, rough him up a bit. But there's a lot of stuff being said now by Dai Flanagan and his tactics. It's really unfair, because every single rugby team, the analysts and the coaches, they target certain players. They will target the players. They'll say, right, he's weak, go for him. And I can understand why Dai Flanagan said to target Jack Walsh, because although he is a young target fly-off, he is flaky. We've seen that many times for the Ospreys, and he does make mistakes under pressure. So I have absolutely no problem with Dai Flanagan coming out and saying, yeah, we're targeting players, fine. But for whatever reason, the players lost control. They lost absolute control. And Fairbrother should have had a yellow. That was the first one. How he didn't get a yellow, I don't know. That should have been a yellow card. And then you had Moriarty's then. I mean, that was just dumb. you know. And as much as I love Moss Mayard, he's been really, really good for the Dragons. When he does stuff like that, that opens, you know, he opens himself up to criticism of people going, well, that's why he's not in the Wales squad. You know, he's a liability, he's a penalty machine. And it's really unfair because he's been really good for the Dragons. He's been really disciplined. But that was one of his silly moments. And then you got the CO Tompkinson one. Now, for me, that was the absolute worst. That was awful. I mean, the way his head jerks back.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it in the stadium, I thought, oh, you fucking twat. There was no need for him to. He ran like 5-10 meters. He didn't need to do it. And if you're going to run at that distance, you've got to tackle lower. And
yeah,
it was appalling.
Everyone's talking about the tackle low, safety. Yeah, it's not switched on with some of these players. It's like, yeah, so what? It doesn't matter. Well, It does matter. You know, a serious injury could have been caused to that young rugby player, and that could have been career-ending as well. It could have been one slight wrong move, done. You know, but let's say I was at the Wales game. I haven't had a chance to look back at the Ospreys. I've seen a couple of the tries there until my my Virgin TV cut out. Thanks, Virgin. But from what I did see, some lovely tries there, some great forward play. Nice to see Dowie Lake and Dan Lydiate back in the team after injury. And both played well until obviously Dowie got his little yellow card there. So, you know, for me, it's a win. It keeps us in the hunt there with 2 games to go, and it'll be great if it is Cardiff Ospreys for the Welsh Shield there, and for a place in the top tier of Europe for next season. Can't bloody wait, Reese.
I'm not going with you, because I've never gone to a game between our sides. Well, I won.
The Ospreys back row played really well. I mean, Dan Lydiate go back the years. Lovely try he scored. You know, it was proper training ground move from that line out. Although Sean Lonsdale's, I gotta say, Sean Lonsdale's tackle on Lydiate was absolutely pathetic. It was like a Jordan Williams attempt. You know, for such a big guy, he should have put Lydiate into touch, and he just didn't. But I'm not going to take that away from him. Lydiate was brilliant, and you know, he hasn't got a contract. You know, and it's like, why hasn't he got a contract? Someone somewhere has to. You know, I know he's like, what's he, 35 now, I think? Something like that.
Cardiff will pay him 30 grand.
Oh, yeah, they will, yeah. Well, they'll say back row.
That's what we need, another back rower. That's what we're
And Morgan Morris as well.
Yeah, Morgan Morris.
You know, I just wonder at what point will Wales take a serious look at it, because the cupboard is now overflowing with number 8s. You know, we're relying on Faletau all the time. At what point are we going to look at Morgan Morris? Because, you know, I thought he was really, really good. And he's pacey as well.
He really has a bad game. He really has a bad game.
But he was like it from 1 to 80. He didn't stop the whole game. And that, for me, it's really easy for a number 8 to kind of pick and choose the lines you run, you know, to kind of hang back and wait and see, wait for the week 10 or the week 12 to just be single and then hit that hole. But he didn't. He did all the dog work, and he was up, and he was tackling, and he was over the ball. I was really, really impressed with him.
He was great. He was really good.
In terms of
sorry, I was just saying it's a nice. I'll go on. Sorry.
No, I was saying to replace Faletau now, for me, I would be really, really surprised if he was not in the Wales squad. Certainly for the training squad, because it's like a 40-man training squad or whatever it is, isn't it? I'd say he's got to be in there, definitely.
Gatland needs to take a look at him, I think. So like I said, the cover is pretty bare for number 8s. But there was a really poignant moment as well in the stadium. So Alwyn Jones went off after like 71 minutes. He shook the referee's hand. And, you know, he's clapping to the crowd and all this. And, you know, I stood up and gave him a round of applause. It felt like we were saying goodbye to him. And I don't know if that's going to be his last ever game now.
Last home game for the Ospreys, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what the future holds. I got a feeling he's going to call it quits after the World Cup, just retire completely. But it was, like I said, even as a Dragons fan, it did feel something was happening here, you know, and I did get on my feet. And he had a brilliant game, Alwyn Jones. You know, I know I've been critical of him in the Six Nations because for Wales, he has looked like a tired old man. but he did not look like a tired old man on Saturday. Fucking one-handed passes, fighting. He was well up for it. He was really up for it. He was energetic. He put in one hell of a shift, Owen Jones.
I did see one moment there. So we had a ruck on the Dragons try line. Heads rolled down. All you saw was this hand coming down underneath. No head. I just flipped the ball up in the air to the scrum half. I was like, who was that? Owen Jones.
Never he's like again, will you?
I think when if you know you've got 3 or 4 games left, do you know what I mean? Some of that pressure's released. You know that you can start enjoying it. You can do stuff that maybe.
Well, I think it'll be big in Japan.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at some point where he takes a conversion or he has a drop goal. Do you know what I mean? It's just something where that's the end. When you come into the end of your career, when you get to choose where the end of your career is. Most of us didn't get to choose our end of our career. Most of it's an injury, or you get dropped, or you've just got to finish for whatever reason. He's going to be in that position where he calls time, a bit like Stuart Hogg did today, where he goes, right, I'm going to play to the World Cup, and then after the World Cup, that's it. And, fair play to him. What is he now, 75, 80? He feels like he's been around a long time, doesn't he? So, and I thought you could just see he was enjoying it a bit more. That's what I thought from him. He just...
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Flicks
from a Dragons point of view, it's been so disappointing the second half of the season. When you go back to the first half of the season, the first block, we've beaten Munster, we've beaten the Ospreys, we've beaten Zebra. We looked like we was getting back on track and we was building something. The second half of the season, I mean, our last win in the URC was October. We've won just one game this year against Poe. It's going tits up again. And I'm afraid to say, and Chris Kerwin wrote about it in his article, we are going back to same old Dragons again. And it's really disheartening because I actually thought we were starting to turn a bit of a corner. And we got to go to Glasgow next. Glasgow, who, let's not forget, went to Munster, Thomond Park, and took them to the cleaners. Yeah. They took, that score is misleading, by the way, flat as Munster. They took them to the cleaners. I watched it yesterday. Dragons got fucking wise up this weekend, I'm telling you now, because if not, they are going to get absolutely steamrolled. They're in shit top form, and Franco Smith is doing a really good job up there. So God help us.
Jamie, we wish you all the best.
Yeah. But then your next URC game after that is Ulster away.
Yeah. And then it's Scarlet. So we're not winning any games now for the rest of the season. We're done for. But I'm just really disappointed how we've... Di Flanagan, now, he said it on the weekend. We've said it a couple of times now. He keeps saying we've taken a step backwards, a step backwards. And we are regressing again, sadly. And it's a real shame. And our discipline is awful. And I don't know what's gone wrong there. Is it coaching? Is it the players? I don't know. But I don't think Di Flanagan should be blamed for those tactics. And what happened, that was just players losing their heads, not keeping cool.
The thing for me was you had like a massive rebuild through last summer where you recruited like 14, 15 players or something like that. And you did the same the season before. And it's not like you can do that again this season. You can't.
We can't. That won't happen
with the way everything is. So one way or another, you've got to work out how are those players going to play together in a team, in a style of game that suits them and that can win. There's a lot of stuff there that's kind of, I don't know.
I just don't feel that the Dragons... I don't feel like we're the sum of our parts because, like I said, I looked at our team and we shouldn't have played as bad as we did. We had a lot of internationals in that team. And I've seen Ospreys fans on social media say as well how surprised, how bored the Dragons were. And it's really sad that I thought we were going past the days of same old Dragons. And look, the Dragons are what they are. They're always going to lose more games than they win. And I don't mind that as long as you can see progress. But it does feel like now we're slipping back into the dark old days and things aren't getting any easier with the fixtures coming up. And I'm dreading this weekend. I don't know if I'll get to see it because I'm on holiday this week. But I'm absolutely... The thought of them going up to Glasgow right now is absolutely terrifying.
What do you put it down as a Dragon supporter?
I got no idea, mate. Yeah, people asked me this weekend. A couple of people said, "Well, what's going on? Why is it turned to shit?" I honestly don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it does annoy me that we're not the sum of our parts at the moment. And we are prone to these awful performances. No matter who the coach is, no matter what players come in, we are prone to just putting in these god awful performances. And we should never have been that bad. But literally everything that could go wrong did go wrong on Saturday. I mean, we had Ollie Griffiths. He just come back from injury, and then he got injured again, 35 minutes, and we're offering him a new deal. You're thinking, well, apparently Ben Fry's going to go to the Scarlets, which I think is a good move for him personally. The way things are, I'd rather keep Ben Fry and let Ollie Griffiths go. How is that value for money keeping Ollie? We know he's a brilliant player when he's fit, but he's never bloody fit.
Injury prone.
And money is tight in Welsh rugby now. You can't be carrying players who don't provide value for money. And I love Ollie to bits, but the Dragons are so loyal to him; they'll keep giving him a new deal. But yeah, it's
It might only be 12 months, mate. It might just be a 1-year deal, because that's what I'm hearing a lot of now is players being offered 1-year deals until there's a bit of a stopgap, and there'll be a raft of 1-year deals, and that's what players are hanging out against. They're going, no, I can't accept a 1-year deal. It needs to be 2 or whatever. So yeah, you might find that it's a 1-year deal that he's been offered. And like you say, I read the thing about Ben Fry as well, because Scarlets just can't recruit second rows. And
he's a good back rower, Ben Fry, mate. He's very abrasive. He's young. He's hungry. Discipline can be questionable. He can give away a few penalties where he's under cosh, but I think that's a good signing for you guys. If it does happen, well, it's been mentioned in the Argus as well, so I'm pretty sure it is going to happen. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah. That's the one place that Dwayne Peel is looking to bolster the squad, is a second row, mainly because we rely so heavily on Lousy and Fafita. And they're both, they've got another year left on their deal. So whether he's looking at 12 months' time and going this time next year, I'm saying goodbye to those two, possibly. I don't know how much they're on, but they're not going to be on 30 grand a year, are they? Let's be honest.
No.
So, that's a fair.
I tell you who I am intrigued by, who he's going to end up, is Sam Davis, because he's barely featured now for the Dragons. So when you consider he was starting 10 against Munster and going against Ospreys, we don't see him now, and he's certain to leave. Cardiff are looking for a fly off. You are this one for you, please. Maybe Sam Davis. Would you have Sam Davis there if you could afford him? If you could actually afford him, I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see the movers, isn't it? The movers and shakers, and I think we're going to see a lot of inter-regional signings, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, everybody
I just want it to happen so I know what's going on, and then I put it down to Stockholm syndrome. Like, I'm going to buy a season ticket, and then I'm going to carry on going down to the South Terrace. But I just want to see how it all settles, how the dust settles.
Well, let's finish on a high point. Let's finish with the Scarlets game, because when I saw the Sharks side come out, I went searching for my "we need a bigger boat" memes and all of those kind of things, and I rolled those ones out, and I just thought, I was quite confident at the start of the week that we were going to do something, and then I saw that side that they put out, and I thought, bollocks. I thought they might not take all of their big boys. They might give them a rest because they've just come out of a training camp and stuff. But yeah, fuck me. It was literally from that first scrum, we were pinned in our own 5-yard line, or we were inside our own 22, and we run the ball 70-odd meters. And in all honesty, Steph should have, 10 meters from the line, Steph's got the ball, he should have scored. I'm not taking away from him, but if he were the pace that he had a couple of seasons ago, he's scoring that, and that's an amazing try. But yeah, it wasn't expected, and I think at half time we were actually looking quite comfortable. I know they kept kind of chipping back in with bits here and there, but we were playing the exciting rugby. We were, We were trying to.
It was good to watch, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was surprising. It was surprising to watch because at the start of the season, we were trying to play that kind of rugby at the start of the season, and it just wasn't coming off. We were knocking balls on, or somebody was in the wrong position, or whatever. So it's taken far too long to get to that position. But yeah, it's so nice to be able to go to a game and feel confident now. That's the Bulls and the Sharks that we played. We've got to go away to Glasgow in our next URC game, and I'm not overly concerned about that game. We're not going to go there and get a pasting. It'll be a tight competitive game. We got Brive next weekend, and you're like, yeah, we should win that. And it's been a long time since. It takes a while to recover that confidence to get that bit back in. The hard bit is it's come so late in the season now that it's almost.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a shame they haven't played that way all season, because I tell you what, there'd be a completely different outlook for the Scarlets now, wouldn't there?
Yeah, but it's the style of play has been there, and the execution hasn't. And then we went through all that bollocks with the yellow cards and the red cards and all of that kind of stuff, and now it feels comfortable, and you can see players are smiling. Like Johnny Williams he's another one that should be in that Welsh squad.
Oh yeah, he's on the plane.
Yeah,
he's on the plane, as they say in Anton Deck's takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, he was just running through brick walls. There was one bit where he had Oxnitch against him, and he went kind of half through Oxnitch, and you're like, well, if you're going half through, if you're not getting stuck 5 meters back when Ox is coming at you, you're doing something all right, So yeah, I mean, he's starting to connect with Joe Roberts outside him. Costello was, we didn't actually see much of Costello with ball in hand. It was all about the kicking, and normally Costello's good for a good couple of line breaks and whatever. And then Steph Evans I wouldn't be surprised to see Steph Evans end the season as I think he's like 3 or 4 tries behind Tommy Bowe as the all-time top try scorer in the URC. So,
all right,
yeah, he's quite close. Well, he's not been taken for Wales. He's had 10 caps or something, and 4 of them were on a summer tour. So, he's had a lot of time on the pitch at the Scarlets. And you could see that he's got grey hair.
How old is he?
I don't know. He seems like he's been there a long time, but he's
probably about 28, I think, something like that.
He must be coming up 30, but it just all felt.
He's 28. I just checked.
Is he? Bloody yeah. So he's got a fair
28. He's 28. Yeah.
He's got a few years left in him to. I think it's 4 tries he's got to score to overtake Tommy Bowe. But the player that I was most impressed with and have been for the last couple of games is Kemsley Mathias.
Coming on nicely, isn't he?
Yeah, and just holding his own against, you got one really big bastard, and he goes off, and fuck me, a bigger one comes on, and you're like, oh Jesus, and he was just outstanding. So yeah, it was just nice to see the place happy again. It was nice to see players happy. Lots of the players hung around after in the supporters village and things like that, and in the supporters bar, and had photos and stuff like that. So, and they weren't doing that at the start of the season. The start of the season, it was very much off the pitch, change, go home sort of thing, and now they're hanging around with supporters, and it's just a nice, positive feeling. That, long may it last. But the
problem is, though, Lee. The problem is now you've stolen Reese's thunder, because all fucking season you're about the Sharks game, this is the Sharks game, the Sharks. Can't say that anymore now. You can say it, though.
Fair play, Jamie. You've got a decent Cardiff accent there.
Well, you see the Sharks game, the Cardiff accent.
But we'll maintain this. He left The Scarlets let them score points. We did.
Yeah, we did. We did. We felt sorry for them.
They had no
You know what,
spots
though?
against us, but we,
But yeah, I was going to say this now. I don't know if Reece definitely won't agree with me. I know Cardiff fans listening to this will not agree. I actually think that Scarlets win was far more impressive than Cardiff going out 0-0 in the Sharks, purely because the Sharks were absolutely diabolical on that day. And you look at the players, right? That was a fully loaded Sharks team, right? You had Werner Koch, Lucano Am, you had Jaden Hendrickson, Oxley, Sprongy Mabimbi, Detroit, Eben Etzebeth, Celia. That was fully loaded Springbok laden Sharks. And when that Sharks team got announced on Twitter, Twitter was just going giddy, going, oh, RIP Scarlets, oh, they've chosen ultimate pain, Scarlets are fucked and all this. And there were a lot of people that were made to look very, very silly because fair play, the Scarlets were fantastic. Nobody expected them to win that. And that should have been a mismatch on paper. When you looked at the two teams on paper,
I was
thinking, fucking hell, Scarlets are in for a tough day at the office, but fair play to them. It was a brilliant result. You can't take it from them. Good on them. Good on Dwight Beale as well. He's turned it around. Well, I think Lee Blackett is a major part of their success. And I think if he does go for a head coach job, which apparently in the rugby paper, he's been linked for a move to Newcastle. I don't know if you saw that, but I think he needs to get a head coach job because he's far too good to be an assistant at the Scarlets. So I don't mean that with any disrespect. I think he needs to get back to being a head coach at a club, like, a big club. But they've turned it around, and fair play to Scarlets. When you consider how poor they were in the first half of the season, the discipline, the yellow cards, the red cards, turn it around to where they have. Fair play to them.
Well, I think the thing that works well with Dwayne Peel and Lee Blackett is they worked together before. They were at Wasps together for a while, so and they kind of know each other.
That's right, yeah.
So Dwayne Peel's got people around him now that he knows and he feels comfortable with. Gareth Williams, the French coach, was in school with him and played rugby with him for a long period of time. So, do you know what I mean? It's from a coaching background sort of a thing. Everybody gets what everybody else is trying to do. And I think that's a lot to it. Because when players are interviewed now, they do talk about, the coaching team that we've got now is superb. So, and they're playing for the coaches. So, yeah, I got to be honest. I hope he stays. I can't see him staying for exactly what you say, Jamie. He was head coach at the Wasps, and had actually turned Wasps around from being a pretty boring, strong team up front to something similar to what Scarlets are playing now. A good all-round handling team. And if somebody comes along and says, "Do you want to be head coach?" and here's a bucket load of cash, Scarlets can't afford to keep him. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but
I'm not. I'm not playing down the work that Dwayne Peel has done, but it's no coincidence that since Lee Blackett joined, that's when Scarlett started to become good again, isn't it? So you have got to pay, a lot of credit.
Well, it's just another piece of the jigsaw,
and the whole of coaches. But he's done brilliant work there. When he goes, it'll be a loss.
Yeah, but it's exactly what Carwin says, and Dwayne Peel says it as well. He said it at the time. He said, "It's a piece of the jigsaw. Now the jigsaw's complete, and we can move forward." So, yeah, who comes in when he goes, I don't know. But
talking of moving forward, should we talk about Europe? Just the predictions.
Before we do, because we'll get on to Predictions League, right? So I just want to run through where we are on Predictions League. So Christmas time, I started tracking our Predictions League each week. I write down who we've got and all of that kind of stuff. So if you get if you're the closest to the result, you get 4 points, and then 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. So whoever's got 1 point is the furthest away, and so we go forward from that. So each week you could score 12 points each week if you were the closest on all four. I am tracking as well who's got the best kind of overall points variance. Okay, so
just give us the top two.
So Reece is in first place with 49 points. You've got a total
Ooh.
variance. You're top of total variance as well, mate. You're on 197 as total variance. Okay, so about 49 points.
I'm more confused than you boys.
So second place is me. I'm on 47, but I've got a higher points variance than Jamie. Jamie is in third place on 45. So there's 2 points between you and me, Reese, and then there's 2 points between me and Jamie. But Jamie's got like 199 variance. I've got 201. And then Carwin's just shit. Carwin. So we're all, if you take, we're between 199, 201, and Carwin, your total variance is 260. You're fucking miles off, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. so that's where we are at the minute for the prediction league. So we got 2 rounds left. So that could be it. It could all change. Well, it will all come down to Judgment Day on our little prediction league there.
Do you know why I think Carwin's gone wrong? He has predicted a lot of Dragons wins. And I think if you predict a Dragons win, you're fucking yourself in this game.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened.
So if I was you, I wouldn't predict the Dragons to win any games, because I think that's been your downfall. I mean, even I won't do that.
Well, look, I got Munster, Ulster and Scarlets, like, you know.
Like I say, you predicted quite a lot of Scarlet's defeats, like heavy defeats, like 20-odd points defeats, and we've been winning like by 10. So, yeah, fuck you. I got no sympathy for you at all. Fuck yeah. So, yeah, let's talk about games for this weekend then. So, Friday night is Scarlet's Breathe, which is on S4C. Well, I think this should be quite a comfortable game for us. Breathe have got really nothing in this, and we're all singing or dancing, and this is our point to our season now, almost. So I can see this being quite a comfortable win for Scarlets. You know,
is it home?
Yep.
Yes.
It's at home.
Right, okay.
So yeah, I'm going Scarlets by 15, probably more, but at least 15 for me on that one.
Okay. I'll go Scarlets by 15 as well.
Ooh. Say that again, Car. Go on, I didn't quite hear you, mate.
Oh, I'm not going to repeat it. You're on record.
I'm clipping that one. That one's going out on social media. Reese, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, Breathe not going to travel well. Yeah, I think I would say by 20. Scarlets by 20.
Cool. James?
Brief.
I agree. No, I'm not. I can't. No, I think this would be a very comfortable win for the Scarlets, and then they've got another home game to look forward to after, haven't they? They'll play either Bristol or Claremont. They're going for a purple patch, Scarlets, aren't they? And fair play to them. I actually think they can go, in all seriousness, they could go quite deep in this competition. They really can, and I think it'd be pretty comfortable. I'll go for same as Reece, 20 points.
20 points.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still clipping that one. Okay, so next game then is 5:30. Is Dragons take a trip north up to Glasgow. So, James, you call this one, mate. What do you think on this one?
Oh, we're fucked, didn't we? Let's be honest. We got no chance up there. No, as I said earlier. No, mate, I'm on holiday this weekend, so I won't be going. I don't think I would travel all that way up to see a battle, if I'm honest. But there's quite a few Dragons fans for actually. I was speaking to them Saturdays. They'll have a decent travelling party up there, in all fairness. No, I can't see Dragons getting anything out of this game the way things are going. Like I said, Glasgow and shit up form. Franco Smith did a brilliant job of turning them around. They're very hard to beat anyway, Glasgow. They're going to be fully loaded with Scottish internationals. Will Rowlands may return for the Dragons. There's talk about him potentially returning. I think that'll be a big boost. Will Dragons be better than they were on the weekend in Swansea? Yes, I think they will. I actually do think they'll be better than what they were against the Ospreys. Will that be enough? No. I think this will be a very comfortable Glasgow win. It's a formality, I'm afraid. So I'm going to have to go Glasgow by 22 points.
Carwin, your prediction?
Glasgow by 30.
Whoosh.
Just because of the way they played against them. They were 28-0 up against Munster on the weekend.
Yeah.
And
they're a very good team. Very good team.
Like you said, Jamie, they're at home. They're going to be stacked with their internationals. They're on a good run there. This will be a tough game for the Dragons, unfortunately.
It will, yeah.
Reese?
I've got to put some faith in the Dragons to keep it below 25.
What's your prediction?
Glasgow by 25. You'll keep it below 30. That's my faith in you.
Oh, cheers. That's nice. That's confident.
See,
Go on, Lee.
My concern with the Dragons this year is Dragons always pull out. They always have one game a year where they just pull out something ridiculous and something stupid, and they turn somebody over. Remember when they played Leinster on a Sunday afternoon where hardly anybody was watching a couple of years ago, and they were like 11-7 up with 10 minutes to go or something like that. So
we've already had that game. That was Munster. We've had that game.
No, I don't think you have. I don't think you have. I think that game was just the reaction to Di Flanagan coming in. My concern is...
You don't honestly think they're going to win up there, do you?
No,
come on.
like I say, my concern is they'll get stuffed by Glasgow. They'll get stuffed by...
Don't worry, they're going to turn the Scarlets over.
They're going to turn the Scarlets over. And they're going to go, fuck it, we're right, let's just do this. But, yeah, I think it'll be 15 points for Glasgow. I think there will be a Dragons reaction. I think you're right, Jim. There is quality in that side. And Di Flanagan is capable of doing something with them. It just takes that bit of confidence, and finding confidence when you're playing Glasgow, Ulster. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard, but
there's got to be a reaction. There has to be a reaction, because otherwise they will get proper pumped.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Glasgow by 15.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So okay.
Then we finish Saturday, so we'll all be pissed by this point, Reece, anyway, so it's irrelevant. But Cardiff are at home to Sale at 8 o'clock.
I'm going to that. I'm looking forward, actually. They're flying high in the Gallagher Premiership, isn't they? But if you have a look at their results lately, they have beat Saracens recently. But they've taken some Tonkins as well over the past month or so. I'm going to be a blind optimist and say Cardiff by 4.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair play, because you know what? Cardiff do well in this competition.
We always play it like a game, every time. It's the last game that we got. So I reckon they'll be fired up. It's a home game. I reckon there'll be a crowd down there.
Big crowd down the park, and I think
I'm going to go
Cardiff by 8.
Yes, I
love the fact you cheer Carwyn going Cardiff by 8, but you won Cardiff by 4. Yeah, well done, you dickhead.
I tell you what, Carwyn's more blind optimist than I'll ever. He's like a guru of blind optimism.
James, what's your thoughts?
Well, I don't like going against Cardiff at the Arms Park, because I generally do believe that Cardiff can beat, when they're on form, they can beat any team at the Arms Park. They're capable of turning anyone over. However, I just think Sale, they're very abrasive, direct, physical team, and I do think their pack is going to be too much for Cardiff to handle. I think they're going to overpower Cardiff. I think it'll be a tight game, but I just think they got that extra power. They got a lot of tough South Africans in their pack, and I think that's where it's going to be won or lost up front. So I'm going to go Sale by 5.
Well, Cardiff have beaten the South Africans out in South Africa, didn't they? Who did they play? Sharks?
Can't remember. Were they fully loaded? No.
Was it?
Lee, that was your moment then. I'm doing it for you.
Big shout out to Harry.
Yeah, I think Cardiff should have all of their internationals back, shouldn't they? They should have like Faletau and
Adams and that, yeah.
Liam Williams,
I've seen pictures of them training. Yeah. So Thomas Williams, Faletau, Josh Adams, all been on the training paddock.
So you'd hope that that Cardiff would be able to pull, something out of the bag somewhere. But like you say, James, Sale are just massive up front. When Sale turn it on up
Yeah.
front, they're like playing the Springboks. There's just
They're tough.
there's no weak point with Sale up front. So I'm going Sale, but I think it'll be close, and I'm going to go Sale by 3. That's my Sale by 3.
Be a good game anyway, I think.
And then we finish on Sunday. So just let me backtrack a second now. So Scarlets is on S4C. Glasgow Dragons, James, is only on Viaplay. It's not on BT.
That's correct.
Yeah.
No.
And then Cardiff Sale is on S4C and BT Sport as well, isn't it? And then Saracens Ospreys on Sunday afternoon. So that's on BT Sport and S4C as well. So go on, Carwyn. Give us your rundown.
Right. If we go fully loaded into this match, bring our European form into it, I tell you what I think we can do. I think we can beat Saracens, and I think it won't be by a lot. So I said a couple of points earlier. I'm going to say Ospreys by 6, because it'll keep you on the edge of your seat until the end of that game, because obviously anything can happen, can't it? But I'm going to go Ospreys by 6.
You know what? I need to take you into work sometimes. Gee me up, man. Gee me up.
You could just put him in the waiting area. You have a cup of tea with Carwyn there, and I'll be back. Yeah,
you'll be
just sit and listen to that dickhead for 10 minutes. You'll be fine.
Come on, lads. Let's hear your predictions.
Reese, go on. What's your prediction, mate?
Better be good, because I'll rescind my Cardiff one otherwise.
Well, they've had lost recently. You are bringing a bit of form into the competition. I still got to take Saracens, though. It's a tight game. I reckon you'll throw everything the way that some of the players played against the Dragons. So I'm going to go Saracens by 5.
Saracens by 5. Okay. Jane?
I think a lot is going to depend on Owen Farrell, because he suffered an ankle injury on the weekend against Harlequins. Now, he hasn't been officially ruled out yet, but he is struggling. I think if Saracens are without Owen Farrell, I think that gives Ospreys a huge opportunity. Let's be positive. I would actually love to see the Ospreys.
Shit.
No, seriously. No, excuse me. You can't say this, because I predicted an Ospreys win on the weekend and they won. So you can't use this bullshit of every time you say Ospreys win, they lose. You can't say that. You can't say that now. So I'm going for Ospreys by 4 points.
Nice one, Jane.
Yeah, why not? Why can't they go up there and do a job on it?
Many
Why
reasons.
not?
Yeah.
They've been so good in this competition.
Many reasons. So
Sale by 20. Sorry, go on.
I think it's going to be a really close game, particularly up front. I think the two quite evenly matched sides up front. It's whether or not Saracens can turn it on in the backs. Saracens have played some fantastic rugby so far this year. Just really, it's like watching a sevens team play sometimes when they're on. So if they do cut loose, Ospreys might be in for a bit of a tough day. But I think the way your forwards have been playing, particularly the way your back row have been playing the last couple of weeks, if you bring everything and have a really, really good game, I think Ospreys might just lose by 1.
You prick.
No, I think Saracens I think it'll be a really, really close game. I really do. It'll be a point either way. So Saracens by 1 for me on that one.
I'll do.
Right. Here we go, gents. So we will do this all again next week without Jamie. Jamie is sunning himself in sunny climes next week. So we will. How's about this? How's about we get one of Jamie's followers on, boys? How's about we get like a dragon's nut to replace Jamie for next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you reckon? Yeah?
Somebody not as level-headed and...
Unbalanced.
Good luck getting a Dragons fan on you. That's all I could say.
Yeah. Somebody from Tiny Rebel. I'm pissed off with you, P. If somebody from Tiny Rebel came on next week.
Don't you dare. I think you felt gelled out.
Dane, enjoy your week off, my friend. Work on the tan, because fuck me, you need it. And we'll see you back.
Yeah.
We'll see you back the week after.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll do it all again. So enjoy your rugby, gents. Catch up
Cheers,
next
lads.
week.
Nice
All
one,
the best.
lads.
Thank you for listening to the Rap Podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording it. Please do rate us and tell your friends, as it really helps us to grow and get better. We'll be back next week with more of the same, and until then, enjoy your rugby.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.